What is Europe? Europe. Europe is the second smallest continent, and it could be described as the large peninsula or as subcontinent. Europe is the western portion of Eurasian landmass and is located entirely in the northern hemisphere. Several larger islands belong to Europe, such as Iceland or the British Isles with the UK and Ireland. Europe, with an area of 10.2 million kilometers square, Europe is 20% larger than the contiguous United States. The European Union has an area without the United Kingdom of over 4.23 million kilometers square. Europe is shared by 50 countries. By the conventional definition, there are 44 sovereign states or nations in Europe. Not included are several countries, namely Turkey, which occupies only a small part of its trace on the European Balkan Peninsula. Europe and the other borders. Europe is one of the smallest continents. The continent is bordered in the north by the Arctic Ocean. The southern border is shaped by the Mediterranean Sea, and the eastern border is shaped by the Atlantic Ocean. However, the southeastern borders of Europe is covered by the Ural Mountains, Caucasus Mountains, the Caspian Sea, and the Black Sea. European has the lowest average elevation of any continent. The average elevation is 300 meters. Regions and countries of Europe. We have Northern Europe, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and Southern Europe. Northern Europe. Northern Europe refers to a portion of Europe to the north of Western Europe, the English Channel, and the Baltic Sea. It also includes the Baltic republics of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Countries included in Northern Europe: Iceland, Finland, Denmark, Ireland, Norway, United Kingdom, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. Western Europe. Western Europe is the western part of Europe. It is bounded by the Atlantic Ocean in the west, the English Channel, and the North Sea to the north, and by the Alps in the south. Countries belongs to Western Europe: Austria, France, Germany, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. Eastern Europe. Conventionally, Eastern Europe is the geographical region east of Germany and the west of the Ural Mountains. The United Nations Geosphere lists 10 countries, including the former Eastern Bloc countries of Poland, Czech Republic, and the Slovakia, formerly Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, and the Bulgaria, the former Soviet republics of Belarus and Ukraine, as well as European Russia. Countries consist of Eastern Europe: Czech Republic, Romania, Poland, Moldova, Bulgaria, Hungary, Ukraine, Croatia, Russia, Kosovo, Georgia, Latvia, Slovakia, Belarus, Greece, and Turkey. Southern Europe. Southern Europe or Mediterranean Europe refers to the mainly subtropical southern portion of the continent. The region is bounded by Mediterranean Sea in the south. There are 13 sovereign countries in southern Europe. 7 of those states are members of European Union. Countries consist of southern Europe: Albania, Andorra, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Croatia, Italy, Vatican City, Malta, Portugal, San Marino, Spain, Slovenia, Macedonia, Serbia, Cyprus, Greece, and Montenegro. Largest country in Europe. The largest country in Europe is Russia, with around 37% of the total continent area. Russia also has the highest population in Europe, with over 110 million people, followed by Germany, United Kingdom, and France. The smallest country in Europe is Vatican City, which only has small area of landlocked land in the center of Rome. The second smallest country is Monaco, and the third is San Marino. So let's proceed to Africa. Africa is the second largest continent in the world in both area and population. It is an almost entirely isolated landmass with only a small land bridge in the northeast, connecting the African mainland with the Western Asia. Regions and countries of Africa: Northern Africa, Western Africa, Central Africa, Eastern Africa, and Southern Africa. North Africa or Northern Africa. North Africa or Northern Africa refers to the portion of Africa along the coast of Mediterranean Sea, except for Sudan. In the northwest, the Atlas Mountains dominate the area. South of Mediterranean coastal strip stretches the Sahara from the Atlantic Ocean and the west to the Red Sea in the east. Countries of Northern Africa: Algeria, Libya, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Sudan, Western Sahara. West Africa or Western Africa. West Africa or Western Africa mostly refers to the countries north of Gulf of Guinea in the northwestern part of the continent. West Africa is located in the southern part of the so-called Hump of Africa. It is bounded in the north by the Sahara Desert in the Sahel zone. West Africa countries: Ghana, Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, Libya, Liberia, Benin, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Togo, Niger, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Cape Verde, Mauritania, Chad, Cameroon, and Equatorial Guinea. Central Africa or Middle Africa. Central Africa refers to the tropical central portion of African continent. There are 9 countries in Central Africa, including the island nation of Sao Tome and Principe. Central Africa countries: Cameroon, Central African Republic, Congo, Chad, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome and Principe, and etc. East Africa or Eastern Africa. East Africa or Eastern Africa is the eastern portion of African continent. It includes Madagascar and other smaller islands. In a narrower sense, the term East Africa may refer to the former British colonial areas in the present-day Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. East Africa countries: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Somalia, Rwanda, Eritrea, Madagascar, Seychelles, Mozambique, Mauritius, Djibouti, Burundi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, South Sudan, Reunion, Comoros, and Moiti. Southern Africa. Southern Africa is the southern portion of African continent, bounded by South Atlantic Ocean in the west and the Indian Ocean in the east. Southern Africa countries: South Africa, Botswana, Malawi, Namibia, Mozambique, Angola, Lesotho, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. So let's proceed to Australia and Oceania. Australia and Oceania. Oceania is a region made up of thousands of islands throughout the Central and South Pacific Ocean. It includes Australia, the smallest continent in terms of total land area. Most of Australia and Oceania is under the Pacific, a vast body of water that is larger than all Earth's continental landmasses and islands combined. The name Oceania justly establishes the Pacific Ocean as the defining characteristic of the continent. Oceania is dominated by the nation of Australia. The two other major landmasses of Oceania are microcontinent of Zealandia, which includes the country of New Zealand, and the eastern half of island of New Guinea, made up of Papua New Guinea. Oceania also includes the three island regions: Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia, including the U.S. state of Hawaii. Regions and countries of Australia and Oceania. Australia and New Zealand, Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. Australia, New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand sometimes referred to as Australasia. Australia is known as smallest continent on Earth. The country has an area of 7,692,000 square meters, making it slightly smaller than contiguous United States. According to its population clock, 25,479,630 people live in Australia. New Zealand is the geographically isolated island nation in southern Pacific, situated about 2,000 kilometers or 1,250 miles southeast of Australia's east coast. 4.7 million people live in New Zealand. In 2019, the country consists of two main islands known as North Island and the South Island. Australia and New Zealand countries. Australia and New Zealand. Melanesia. Melanesia is a region in western Pacific Ocean to the east and south of New Guinea Island. Its northern boundary is the equator. The area includes the island of New Guinea, the Bismarck Archipelago, four independent countries, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, Fiji, and Papua New Guinea, and the French dependency of New Caledonia. Many islands of Melanesia are volcanic origin and belong to the Pacific Ring of Fire. Melanesia countries: Fiji, Solomon Island, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea, New Caledonia. Micronesia. Micronesia is a region in western Pacific Ocean, north of Melanesia and west of Polynesia. Its southern boundary is largely along the equator. The area includes the Mariana Islands, the Federated States of Micronesia, the Republic of Palau, the Marshall Islands, and the western portion of Kiribati Archipelago. Countries of Micronesia: Guam, Kiribati, Marshall Islands, Nauru, Palau, and Northern Mariana Islands. Polynesia. The term Polynesia refers to the vast region of Central Pacific Ocean to the east of Micronesia and Melanesia. The ocean section contains the easternmost of the Pacific Oceans, including the New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Hawaii, the Marquesas Islands, Samoa, and the French Polynesia. Countries of Polynesia: Solomon Island, Tonga, Tuvalu, Vanuatu, Samoa, American Samoa, and French Polynesia. Thank you for listening.